My child, sit with me now. Let every noise fade. Let the weight of what others have said about you fall like dust to the floor. Because I am speaking now, and my words will rewire the story that has kept you small for far too long. I was there when they called you unworthy, when they whispered that you were not enough. I saw every time you nodded silently, swallowing the lie as if it were truth. But those words were not born in me. They were never part of the script I wrote before the foundations of the earth. I didn't call you broken, I called you mine. There is a knowing in me that sees far beyond what your reflection tells you. You see limits, I see legacy. You see failure, I see the furnace that has refined your courage. You see delay, I see design. My child, you've been reading your life like a headline, written by others, but I authored your soul in the language of eternity, and I have not changed my mind about you. Yes, the world labeled you, dressed you in names that never belonged to you, but I call you chosen. I call you set apart. I call you one who carries divine fire in your bones. Even if you've forgotten how to feel it, you think I have left you in the ashes, but I've been breathing on the embers, that warmth rising in your spirit now. That is me. That is the flicker of everything I planted in you before your first breath, and it's about to rise again. You've been called too emotional, too loud, too quiet, too different, too late. But I never labeled you to anything. I called you exactly right. You were not born out of random chaos. You were spoken into existence with purpose wrapped into every cell of your being. Even the things you think disqualify, you are the very things I intend to use to mark your calling. The world saw scars, I see story. The world saw detours, I see divine timing. I see you, child, not the performance, not the version you present, so others don't reject you. I see the deep, hidden places. I see the questions you don't speak out loud. I see the tears you wipe quickly, afraid they'll be misunderstood. I see the dreams you buried, because you didn't think they had permission to live. But I never revoked your permission. I never told you to shrink. The greatness in you didn't go away. It just waited for my breath to call it forth again. And that's what this moment is. This is not inspiration. This is resurrection. I'm not here to motivate you, I'm here to awaken. What religion tried to suppress, what trauma tried to bury, what shame tried to silence. The fire inside you is not your invention, it is mine. And I am fanning it now. You won't need to hype yourself up. I will be your fuel. I will be your flame. Even when your strength runs dry, I will ignite what I placed in you. You may feel like your story is too tangled, too painful, too embarrassing to carry purpose. But I tell you this, every tear is accounted for. Every night you felt unseen was recorded in my hands. And I will not waste a moment of your wilderness. What you thought was abandonment was preparation. What you called failure I'm turning into foundation. You don't have to fix yourself to come close. I already came close to you. I stepped into your chaos, into your dirt, into your self-doubt. I'm not intimidated by your mess. I speak in the middle of it. I rebuild from the rubble. I redeem what everyone else rejected. And what I call mine cannot be disqualified. This is the hour I'm calling you to remember. Not who others said you are, but who I've always known you to be. Chosen, anointed, covered in grace, marked by my spirit. You were born to carry glory, not shame. You were created to walk in truth, not torment. You were designed for fire, not fear. And I will not let the fire die inside you, not now, not ever. The time for hiding has ended. You have waited for the right moment, the right feeling, the right validation. But child, this is the moment. Not because you feel ready, but because I've already gone before you. I've prepared the path. I've broken the chains. I've cleared the air for your voice to rise again. So rise not with perfection, but with permission. Not with clarity, but with courage. I will guide every step. I will speak through trembling lips. I will walk with you into rooms you didn't think you belonged in. I will unlock doors you stopped knocking on. I will restore what you buried out of fear. And when the old voices come again, the ones that say you're not enough, you missed your chance, You'll never change. Remember who's speaking now. I am the one who formed you, the one who chose you before you ever knew your own name, and my word will not return empty. My word will accomplish what I send it to do. And right now, my word is healing you. Right now, my voice is becoming louder than the echo of shame. I am not reminding you of your past, I am revealing your future. A future full of divine appointments, holy interruptions, supernatural favor. A future not built by your striving, but by my spirit. You will not have to perform for it. You will not have to beg for it. You will not have to fight to be seen. I see you. I've always seen you, and I call you chosen. My child, lean closer. I am not whispering, because I am distant, but because I am near, nearer than your next breath, nearer than your loudest cry. I am speaking softly because I want your soul to pause, to feel the gravity of what I am awakening inside you. I've come not just to comfort you, I've come to unearth you. The treasure you thought was lost under years of pain and regret. I buried it deep inside you long ago, so that no storm could steal it. And now I'm pulling it up with the authority of heaven. That greatness, yes, my greatness has never left you. It's not something you earn through effort. It's not something you manufacture through discipline or perfect behavior. It is a seed I planted before your lungs ever filled with breath, and no label, no failure, no delay, no opinion has ever changed what I placed within you. I have come now, not tomorrow, not when you think you're ready, but now, because the time to reveal what I've hidden is here. You've tried to suppress it, haven't you? You've tried to act small so others wouldn't feel threatened, tried to fit into molds that were never built for your fire. You've apologized for your own radiance, thinking you were being humble, but humility isn't shrinking. Into silence it's letting my glory be seen in you without fear. It's standing tall, because I place something eternal within your spirit, and that fire, that holy disturbance inside you that refuses to be extinguished. That's me. That's my voice, calling destiny out of your depths. This isn't hype. This isn't fantasy. This is truth colliding with your core. You've believed the lies for too long, made peace with chains you were born to break, adapted to shadows when I've called you to blaze. I'm not here to adjust your mood, I'm here to awaken your mandate. I'm not building your self-esteem, I'm resurrecting your calling. You think you've run too far, wandered too long, doubted too deeply. But what if I told you that I accounted for all of it? What if I told you I knew every valley you would walk through, and still I chose you? What if I told you your greatness has never been on pause? It's only been in preparation. My child, every detour, every breakdown, every betrayal, it was not a sign of defeat, but a forge of design. You didn't lose your fire, you just forgot it was mine. And I don't forget what I plant. The voices in your mind that said you missed your window, that you're too flawed, too messy, too late, they are liars. And today, I silence them. They do not know the ending I've written. They do not carry the authority I carry. I say rise, and the grave cannot hold you. I say shine, and darkness flees. You don't need another opinion. You need my voice, and I'm speaking now. I'm calling you into fullness, not perfection, fullness, not fantasy, reality. You are my chosen vessel, sculpted by divine intention, anointed with holy oil, and destined to disrupt cycles of fear with waves of freedom. Do you feel that trembling in your chest? That's not anxiety, that's destiny waking up. That's the roar of your spirit answering my call. That's the shaking that comes before resurrection. And I am not stopping halfway. You don't need to understand it all, just say yes. You don't need to have it all together, just come out of hiding. You don't have to rehearse what to say, just open your mouth, and I will fill it. You don't need to fight for attention, I've already set you apart. The favor on your name is not by chance. It is the fingerprint of heaven. It is my seal, and no one can erase it. They said you were unqualified, too broken, too much, not enough. But I am rewriting every name they tried to tattoo on your identity. You are not your failure. You are not your mistake. You are not your lowest moment. You are mine. You are marked. You are filled. You are flame. Let the fire fall again. Let it burn through the lies, through the shame, through the chains of every word you've internalized from the voices of fear. I am here to cleanse the atmosphere around your soul. I am here to make you remember that you were never called to walk in defeat. You were born of power, born of spirit, born of eternal breath. You've questioned if I still see you, if I still want you. Listen carefully. I have never looked away. I see the chapters you've tried to skip. I see the pain you've hidden behind a practiced smile. I see the nights where you wrestled in silence, while the world thought you were strong. But child, I saw it all, and I never turned away. I never withdrew my love. I never stopped calling you. You thought I was far, but I was waiting for you in the fire, ready to meet you with flames that would remind you of who you really are. You are not fragile, you are fierce. You are not forsaken, you are favored. You are not forgotten, you are foretold. And nothing can cancel what I've spoken. You're not just called, you're chosen. And I will not let what I placed in you remain buried. I will not let the greatness I designed remain hidden under layers of disappointment and delay. I will interrupt your doubt with truth until every shadow is filled with light. I will speak until every broken part of you remembers it was crafted by wholeness. I will pursue you, even through the fire, even through the chaos, until every part of you comes alive again. This is not the end. This is the unveiling. My beloved, listen, I have seen every time your soul flickered, barely holding on. I have watched you try to breathe beneath the weight of words spoken by people who never saw your spirit. And even when your knees buckled and your prayers faded into silence, the fire never went out. Why? Because I have never removed my hand from your heart. That fire wasn't born from your strength, it was lit by my spirit. And as long as I remain God, and I always will, that fire will not die. You thought your flame was fragile, didn't you? That it could be smothered by the cold winds of failure or shame. But child, I crafted that fire from eternity's breath. I ignited it with the same power that raised the dead, the same glory that shatters tombs and tears veils. That fire was forged for storms. That flame was born for battle. You've mistaken flickers for extinction, but what you feel now, that ember rising, that spark returning, is me. I'm awakening what I never let die. You've been trying to maintain what I already promised to sustain. The pressure you've carried, the striving, the endless proving, it's not your burden anymore. I never asked you to carry the weight of your own fire. I asked you to carry faith. Faith in who I am, not just what I can do. Faith in my character, not just my miracles. Faith that even when you are weak, I am not. You are not the one sustaining the flame, I am. And I've been tending it all along. I saw the moment your passion turned to exhaustion, when you tried to be strong for everyone else and ended up empty. I saw when your prayers became whispers, when you barely had the strength to speak. You thought you failed me, but I was never looking for performance. I was waiting for surrender. You don't have to ignite yourself, I will breathe on you again. You see, child, I don't need your perfection, I need your permission. Your yes, even if it's trembling. Your surrender, even if it's messy. Your honesty, even if it's raw. I'm not scared of your weakness, I specialize in filling what's empty, in reviving what others declared dead. Your flame is not dying, it's being refined. It's being recalibrated for the calling ahead. I know you've asked, why does it still feel dark inside? But even in the dark, the fire still burns. Even in silence, I am still speaking. Even in waiting, I am still moving. What you think is delay is divine design. I've been stripping away the lies that tried to drown your fire. I've been removing the false labels, the fear-based identities, the counterfeit dreams. I've been cleansing the air around you, so that when you rise, nothing false will follow, and you will rise. This fire inside you will not only burn again, it will consume every false thing that ever tried to define you. It will become a signal, a beacon, a holy blaze that draws others out of hiding. You think you're just trying to survive, but I'm building a revival within you. You think you're trying to recover, but I'm rewriting your radiance. You think it's over, but I'm declaring it has just begun. Because I don't simply restore, I resurrect. And I don't bring you back to what you lost, I take you into what you never knew was possible. You've seen flickers, but I'm about to unleash flames. You've survived with embers, but I'm awakening an inferno. And no one, not even you, can extinguish what I've set ablaze. You wonder, why me, Lord? And I answer, because you are mine, because I made you to carry what others could not, because I planted resilience in your soul long before the trials came, because I saw the day your fire would shake atmospheres and speak life into dead places, because I chose you not because you were flawless, but because you were formed for fire. I placed within you the kind of glory that hell fears. You've heard the lie, you're too far gone, but I tell you now, there is nowhere you can run that my flame will not find you. I've lit every shadow with grace. I've woven mercy into every detour, and I've chased you not to punish, but to ignite. My child, I don't see ashes, I see altars. I don't see ruins, I see revival grounds. You've labeled yourself unworthy. I've labeled you mine. You still don't know what's inside you, do you? There's glory in your bones, waiting to rise. There's thunder in your voice, waiting to be heard. There's healing in your hands, waiting to be released. There's vision in your eyes, waiting to awaken. And I will not rest until every spark I placed in you becomes flame. I did not speak fire into you just so you could warm others. I gave it so you could ignite generations. You are not small. You are not ordinary. You are dangerous to darkness, and I've only just begun calling you out. You will not drift back into silence. You will not crawl back into the cage of fear. You will not forget who you are again. I'm writing my name deeper into your soul. I'm pressing my identity into your scars. I'm rebuilding your confidence, not with noise but with truth. The truth that my flame in you is unquenchable, that it will defy seasons, outlast storms, and rise again and again. Because I don't light fires just to watch them fade. I light them so the world knows who I am. And you, child, you are my flame bearer. My child, stop searching for value in places that never created you. Stop measuring your worth by the reaction of people who never saw your soul. I have already inscribed value into every fiber of who you are. This is not borrowed glory, this is my eternal design. I placed eternity in you, not a moment, not a feeling, not a flicker, eternity. That means what I've placed inside you cannot expire, cannot be undone, and cannot be replaced by anything this world offers. You carry something that outlives storms, something deeper than every wound, something louder than every lie. And I placed it there not because you earned it, but because you are mine. I whispered identity into your spirit before the foundations of the world were laid. I called you chosen before you knew how to choose me. I marked your soul with my signature, and no failure, no season, no silence can cancel what I authored from the beginning. What I put inside you has no expiration date, and yes, my favor is on your name. Even when your name was misunderstood, mispronounced, dismissed, or defamed. Even when your name was dragged through shame, whispered behind closed doors, or forgotten altogether, I still favored it. I still surrounded it with the fragrance of heaven. I still assigned it to things this world hasn't seen yet. Do not confuse delay with denial. What I'm building in you requires depth. What I'm awakening through you demands entrance. You are not behind, you are becoming. You are not forgotten, you are foretold. You carry the weight of purpose in your bones. That's why it hurts so much sometimes. That's why you feel like you don't fit anywhere. That's why shallow things don't satisfy anymore. You weren't made for surface level existence, you were sculpted for eternity. I did not plant you in this hour by accident. You are not a product of random chance that visits like a ghost in your memory. This generation, I scheduled your breath for this moment. I shaped your journey to collide with souls who will only come alive when you rise. And I will not allow fear to have the final word. You've carried too much fear, fear of being too much, fear of being too little, fear of being rejected, misunderstood, left behind. But I tell you now, I have not given you a spirit of fear. I've given you power, love, a sound mind, and where fear once stood, I am now establishing clarity. Where insecurity once echoed, I am now releasing identity. Where hesitation ruled, I am calling you into motion. Child, there's more in you than you've dared to believe. You've made peace with being background when I called you to carry breakthrough. You've made comfort your goal when I destined you for courage. You've tried to silence your fire because you didn't want to disrupt, but I made you to disrupt every chain that ever tried to silence someone else. You were not made to blend in. You were made to burn bright with heaven's design. There are dimensions of you that haven't even awakened yet, visions, gifts, callings, sound, influence. You think you know yourself, but you've only scratched the surface of what I've hidden within you. Eternity is not something you visit. Occasionally it's living in your spirit right now. That's why compromise won't work for you anymore. That's why mediocrity chokes your joy. That's why you can't pretend everything is fine when your soul knows it was built to shake the ground. There is favor on your name, not just for doors to open, but for atmospheres to shift when you speak. You don't just carry opportunity, you carry authority, not because of position, but because of proximity. You've stayed near me through seasons of silence. You didn't leave when others did. You kept worshipping when you were weeping. You kept standing when nothing made sense. And I've seen it all. I've bottled every tear. I've recorded every sacrifice. And I'm about to reward what was sown in secret. The favor on your name is not a distant promise, it is a present declaration. It's the reason you keep surviving what should have ended you. It's the reason doors close not to punish you, but to protect you. It's the reason you feel drawn to things no one else understands. I have assigned you to a frequency that doesn't match the noise of the world. You were made to move differently, to speak differently, to see differently, and I am reawakening the part of you that stopped believing that was true. You've seen the wilderness, but now I'm showing you what the wilderness protected. You've seen the waiting, but now I'm revealing what I was weaving in the wait. You've seen heartbreak, but now I'm restoring the rhythm of your heartbeat to match mine. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming exactly who I dreamed before time began. You don't need a platform to prove it. You don't need applause to validate it. You don't need clarity to carry it. You just need to keep saying yes, even when it's dark, even when it's quiet, even when the road makes no sense, because that's when my spirit does its deepest work. I've placed eternity in your spirit. I've placed favor on your name, and I will not rest until you see what I see in you, until you walk in the weight of your true identity, until you speak with the sound of someone who knows they've been chosen, until you move not out of fear, but out of the fire I've placed within you. You may feel ordinary, but I've hidden glory inside you, and this glory is beginning to rise. My beloved child, I know how loud the voices of doubt can become. I know how they sneak into your quiet moments and try to rewrite your story with fear. I know how they disguise themselves as your own thoughts, as logic, as realism, as wisdom even. But they are not truth. I am truth, and I have come now to interrupt every false story you've been telling yourself. You are mine. Let that settle deeper than your questions. Let it break through every defense you've built to protect yourself. You are not a mistake navigating chaos. You are mine, navigating mystery with me. You belong to the one who spun galaxies and still chooses to hold your heart. I haven't come just to comfort you in the storm. I've come to remind the storm whose child you are. You are mine not just when you worship, but when you wander. Not just when you feel strong, but when you feel shattered. Not just when you get it right, but when you collapse in weakness. You were never mine because of your performance. You were mine because I formed you, and I do not unclaim what I create. You've doubted your worth because others left. You've questioned your value because your prayers weren't answered how you hoped. You've wondered if I've gone silent because the pain lingered too long. But hear me. I do not withdraw when things grow dark. I do not disappear when your strength runs out. I draw closer. I remain. I stay in the shadows with you until you remember you are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are mine. When you see the cracks in your own heart and say, I'm too broken, I see the space where my glory will shine through. When you say, I've gone too far, I say, I've come farther to find you. When you whisper, I'm not enough, I answer, I've always been your more than enough. Your doubt does not intimidate me. It only gives me a chance to speak deeper, and that is what I'm doing now. Let me interrupt it. Let me interrupt the lies that told you you'd always struggle. Let me interrupt the fear that told you it's too late. Let me interrupt the guilt that told you grace has run out. You are mine and that truth is final. My ownership is not like the world's. I don't claim you to control you, I claim you to cover you, to protect you, to remind every force in hell that you are untouchable without going through me first. You are sealed. You are hidden in me. You are held not with strings attached, but with a covenant of blood and breath and eternal love. So when the next wave of fear hits, remember who you belong to. When the next moment of failure tries to define you, remember whose name is written across your spirit. You are mine, not in theory, not just spiritually, but truly, fully, forever. That means you don't have to wonder if I'll still love you tomorrow. I already decided. You don't have to earn another moment of my presence, I already moved in. You don't have to work to keep me, I've already promised never to leave. This is not temporary. This is not conditional. This is not based on how spiritual you feel. This is based on who I am, and who I am does not change. I chose you when you had nothing to offer. I claimed you when no one else saw your worth. I called you mine in the middle of the mess, not after it was cleaned up. So stop trying to prove your worth, child. I've already spoken it. Stop rehearsing the things you wish you could undo. They are covered. Stop measuring yourself against others. I didn't make you to copy them. I made you to reveal me in a way that only you can. That's why I wove your story the way I did, not to shame you, but to shine through you. I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for proximity. I don't want your performance, I want your permission. Permission to heal. Permission to restore. Permission to set fire to everything that tried to bury you. The pain, the guilt, the heaviness, it's all coming under the authority of the one who claims you. And I am not just coming to speak life. I'm here to resurrect everything you thought was over. You thought certain dreams were done. You thought you disqualified yourself. You thought I moved on. But child, I don't operate on human timelines. I don't run out of chances. I don't base my calling on your confidence. I look at your heart. And right now, as you're reading these words, your heart is crying out. That cry, I hear it. That ache, I understand it. That flicker of hope, I'm fanning it into a blaze again. You're mine when you feel anointed. You're mine when you feel abandoned. You're mine when you worship loud. You're mine when you can't lift your head. You're mine when you're full of joy. You're mine when you're full of questions. The enemy wants you to forget this. He wants you to drown in doubt, to measure your worth by the shakiness of your faith. But I don't measure like man measures. I don't count your failures, I cover them. I don't highlight your stumbles, I hold your hand through them. I don't back away when the battle gets intense, I step in and say, this one is mine. That's who you are. Mine. Not maybe. Not sometimes. Not almost. Forever mine. And now, my child, now that you remember who you are, everything can begin again. Even the one you still wince at when you think no one's watching. Even the fall that rewrote how you see yourself. Even the regret that clings to your mind in the stillness of night. All of it is covered. There is no exception. No fine print. No hidden clause in my grace. I do not save halfway. I do not forgive conditionally. I do not redeem selectively. I cover completely. My child, come now. Come out from the shadows you've made a home. Come out from the constant rehearsing of your failures. You've been too harsh on yourself. You've let shame become the narrator of your life. But it's a liar. It tells only half the story. It tells what you did, but not what I've done. It remembers your fall, but forgets my hand reaching out. It echoes the moment you slipped, but ignores the moment I held you through it. Let me tell the whole story. Let me remind you that grace is not a bandage, it is a resurrection. I do not cover sin with silence. I cover it with blood, with truth, with power. I do not pretend it didn't happen. I transform what was meant to destroy you into a door to your destiny. What the enemy tried to use as your ending, I am using as your beginning. What shame tried to bury, I am bringing back to life with purpose and beauty. That thing you keep hiding from me, I already saw it, and I never walked away. I never flinched. I never loved you less. There is nothing in you that surprises me, and yet still I say, you are mine. Come now. Come not with rehearsed prayers, but with real honesty. Come not with your walls, but with your wounds. Come not with fear, but with your full self, your tired self, your scarred self, your doubting self. I do not ask you to clean yourself up to approach me. I ask you to come close, and I do the cleansing. It's what I've always done. I wash the feet of the betrayer. I touch the skin of the outcast. I healed those the world passed by, and I am doing the same for you. I am reaching into the places you thought were too dirty, too dark, too far gone, and I'm saying, come now, let me restore you. You've been trying to make sense of it all. You've been stacking logic on top of fear and calling it wisdom. But my grace does not